Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome to the Fantasy Forecast for Wednesday, May 4th, 2016. We have a really fucky two-day slate. And I did use those exact words. I hate studying a slate on where I have one game tonight and another game tomorrow night, because there might be another slate set up tomorrow night too to go along with the next one. I'm sure they will. These profit-hungry DFS companies. I'm not even stressing it. It's like a guarantee. So, it's the playoffs. What are you going to do? They're short slates, and we can still profit off them. We can still win as long as we plan it right. This is still a game of picking the winners. Yesterday, by the way, for results, yes, I won. The score was a 288. I had the best optimal out of everyone's that was shown. However, that was barely enough to win cash. I mean barely enough. One of my contests, I had 45 or... I was position number 45 or 41 or something like that. The other one, I was literally position number 51. I missed it by that much. Flat out loss. Now, what are you going to do? I mean, it's DFS, guys. So, you take it and you move on and you look at today. And I do have a couple optimals. Some optimizers I was able to get working and get some projections on. So, this one, I know it's weird, guys, but we're starting with Daily Fantasy Nerd today, okay? And daily DFN, we'll just call him DFN from now on. This makes it easier. We have Irving and Schroeder at the point guard. Irving is projecting at 36 points. Schroeder's projecting at 25. Schroeder is by far the best value on the board, no question, and he's in my lineup as well. We have DeRozan and Korver at shot guard. DeRozan's projecting at 35. Korver's projecting at 20. At the small forward, we got LBJ and Joe Johnson. LBJ is projecting at 53, and Joe Johnson's projecting at 23. At power forward, we got Kevin Love and Millsap. Millsap is projecting at 42, and Love is projecting at 37. And at the center, that you can barely see at the bottom there, that's Tristan Thompson, guys. And Tristan Thompson is projecting at a good value. They're showing him at 29 points for a 6 times value. All right, and their whole lineup comes out to 298. On a 2-game slate, I'd be very happy with it if that's where it came. Okay? That's Daily Fantasy Nerd. This is RotoWire. I was able to get one out of them, too. Okay, let's move on. Sorry, this will take a second. This took a while to put together this show today. Okay, we have Irving and Schroeder at the point. No, we don't. We have Irving and Wright. How do we have Irving and Wright? Who gave us this? Oh, this must have been some laughable one I didn't even bother to take a picture of somehow, because why do I... One of them gave me this. One of them gave me a... It was RotoQL. I'm sure of it. I'm positive of it. I gotta find the picture. RotoQL gave me this app, or this one, and I looked at it and I was like, are you serious? Really? You have to be kidding me. But this is what they spit out at me, and so, okay, fine. Here it is. Irving and Delon Wright at the point guard. Irving projecting at 38. Wright projecting at 22. I don't know how. Norman Powell and Terrence Ross. Powell is projecting at 29 for them. Ross is projecting at 23. LeBron James is projecting at 52. Bazemore is projecting at 35, and I like that they got Bazemore in. Millsap is projecting at 45. Love is projecting at 35. And Whiteside at the center down there, which you guys can barely see, I know, I'm sorry, he's projecting at 37. And the whole score lineup, even though it's $600 short on salary, is projecting at 317, which is insane. If they're right on that, I will eat my fucking hat tomorrow, and I know I will, because they pulled off some good ones. They have. Okay, so let's see who this one is. This one must be what I was saying before. It's not Daily Fantasy Nerd. It's not. It must be either RotoWire or Daily Fantasy Cafe, and I'm pulling it up right now to confirm. It's RotoWire. Okay, so RotoWire today has Irving and Schroeder at the point guards. Irving is projecting at 35 points, and 36 minutes. The minute projections are important, guys. I like you guys to remember that. It's the only over-under we really have. Although apparently another over-under has been set on the Miami game. They set that at 187. And the over-under on the Irving or the Cleveland-Atlanta game is 196. You probably want to have a little more exposure to that game in any instance, but both of them are expected to be slightly more blowout-y, except Miami-Toronto is projected to be closer. You don't really need to look at that. Just pick the winning teams today, guys, and stack them, and that's how you're going to win. Irving, 36 minutes projection, 34 points projected. Schroeder, 22 minutes projected, 20 points projected. Smith, 36 minutes projected, and Korver, 36 minutes projected. Both are projecting at 36 minutes. Points are different. Smith is projecting for 25 points. Korver is projecting for 21. LBJ is projecting for 41 minutes and for 52 points. Joe Johnson's projecting for 32 minutes and for 21 points. Millsap is projecting for 38 minutes and for 38 points. Love is projecting for 37 minutes and 38 points. Horford is projecting for 34 minutes and 33 points. And I know if you can't see him at the bottom, that's Horford for the center. And that was RotoWire for today. Whole lineup is projected at 281. This is the last one that I put together, and this is a stack. This is more tournament-y. This is not from any optimal. I just made this because there aren't enough optimals today, guys. Not a lot of them will do 2-game slates. Their computers flip the hell out. I've got Irving and Schroeder and it's the Cleveland-Atlanta game, which is expected to be higher scoring. And add those up. Cleveland, LeBron, Cleveland, Love, Cleveland, Thompson, Cleveland. Atlanta with Millsap. Korver with Atlanta as well. So that's 2. Schroeder with Atlanta. That's 3 with Atlanta. I have 7 players on the Atlanta and Cleveland team. This is a stack on the Atlanta-Cleveland game, basically. And F off Toronto and Miami. Except I have Dwayne Wade, who did hurt his knee in Game 1, but is going to play. That's why it says game time decision. But he's playing, guys. Don't even question that. He's already said, this is crunch time. I'm going through. And who's my other player? Joe Johnson, the guy that really has made Miami the better team and put them in the second round anyways. And he's still cheap. People just keep forgetting about these stats. I don't understand why, but look at him. He scores in the 20s all the time. If this is what your punt was to build your lineup, you wouldn't take 30 fantasy points last night with 42 against Toronto if he plays that long. 20 fantasy points against Charlotte with 33. At these prices on 2-game slates, these are fine scores. So go jump all over that. I mean, like I said, this is a tournament entry that I created. And now I'm going to go to my recommended cash entry. Your recommended cash entry for today, guys. Irving and Schroeder at the point guard. DeRozan and Korver at the shot guard. James and Winslow at the small forward. Yes, Winslow is a punt, but at least he sees minutes and points. That's all that matters for me in a punt. Millsap and Love at power forward, and JV for center. They didn't have an answer for JV last time, and they're going to try to find an answer again today, but he's still going to start to run all over him again. I would expect a similar performance like you saw last night. Not 55 fantasy points, insane, but he can pull 40, no problem. JV is your center. He's like your Plumlee of last week. I mean, he just is. And that is their variation as well. He's on the Toronto game. Winslow is on the Miami game. And DeRozan is on the Toronto game. So you got 2 players from Toronto. Toronto will probably bounce back at home and even the series 1-1. You got DeRozan and JV to beat the players to do that. You got Winslow just as a minimum once he gets out of hand to, pick up those extra minutes. And otherwise, you've stacked the Atlanta-Cleveland game. You've got Love, you've got James, and you've got Irving, the best players from Cleveland. You've got Schroeder, who's been seeing a lot of minutes, Korver, who sees a ton of minutes, and Millsap, who's the center of the Atlanta team. I love this lineup, guys. I have it in tournament as well as the 50-50, but this is my recommended cash lineup for you guys today, okay? And that's FanDuel. I don't have optimals in for DraftKings, but I do have a recommended DraftKings lineup I'm going to move to now real fast. My recommended DraftKings lineup for today, and pricing is a lot tighter on this site. Guys, if I were over here, I would play it a lot tighter and be gentle. The opponent rankings, though, in terms of their fantasy points are helpful, and I was able to put together something where everyone shows some minutes and it uses the salary properly and it takes advantage of these situations. So if you'll look, you'll see that you have Miami listed once, Miami listed twice, and then Toronto and Toronto. So it's actually an even split. You have 2 Miami players. Richardson is your punt player, 15 points. You know, he's a bench player, but he does see minutes. He did in the last game against Toronto. Joe Johnson is good, and he's in a they aren't that good defending Toronto at his particular position, and he should see that average fantasy point per game or a little bit higher. So both of those are good Miami picks. On the flip side, the Toronto picks, JV, we already know why he was good. We saw what he did yesterday. He just dismantled the Heat in that area. I mean, as soon as they were able to get the ball into them, when they were able to, he just shoved it in the basket every damn time. And if he didn't, he got fouled. So you got Lowry there. I'm hoping that his shooting picks up after the horrible performance he put up last night. NBA is streaky, but NBA also fluctuates. You know, you put up a night that's really bad one night, and then you can put up one that's really good one night too. And that's just kind of how that goes. Other than that, really, let's see. I have a little bit more stacking here, guys. I have Atlanta stacked with Bazemore at the bottom for utility and with cheap Teague at the top at point guard. I think Teague will show you a better game against Cleveland today and, kind of try to even the series out. But then you have to have LeBron on the other end, and then you got Tristan Thompson, who was the best value among all the Cleveland players the other night. And so this would be my recommended DraftKings lineup for today, guys. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed Fantasy Forecast for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Enjoy. I will talk to you all later. Go on out there and go win some money. Bye-bye.